Good morning to all. My name is P. Mehalingam from Madurai Kamaraj University, Madurai. Good morning, Chairperson and other colleagues from various colleges, universities, delegates from all countries. I would like to express my wholehearted thanks to the organizing committee for giving me an opportunity to present my work, our work in this international conference. The title of the work is Pharmacognostical, Phytochemical, Preliminary Phytochemical Studies on Stem and Leaves of Alysicarpus monilifer. Actually, the present study is mainly intended to evaluate the pharmacognostical and preliminary phytochemical characterization of the leaves and stem of Alysicarpus monilifer. Since few reports are available on this taxon, detailed microscopical and phytochemical screening of this plant were undertaken. All the parameters were studied as per the WHO, World Health Organization guide and pharmacopoeial guidelines. Okay, first I will give the brief introduction about this plant. The Alysicarpus monilifer is a very common plant in our area. That is, in our language we can say kale pale. So it is a thorny plant. It's a small herb which is known for its medicinal properties and widely used worldwide. This plant is an important in Indian Ayurvedic system of medicine, which is routinely used to treat certain ailments like inflammation, headache and jaundice. The plant is practiced by Chittur tribes to cure jaundice. It is also used to tackle digestive and paralysis related ailments, skin eruptions, and taken as antidote to snake bites. So a perusal of the literature revealed that there is a lacuna in systematic pharmacognostic evaluation of this plant. To fill this gap, it becomes extremely important to make an effort towards standardization of the material to be used as medicine. The process of standardization is a step-by-step manner. Pharmacognostical studies like microscopical characterization of stem and leaf, ash and extractive values, fluorescence analysis and preliminary phytochemical analysis. So we have collected the plant samples and we processed the material for sectioning. Actually we followed the methods of Johansen 1940 for the preparation of double staining method. For staining, normally we used Obrion or saffron and phosphine method. Then physicochemicals, the standard procedures were followed for the evaluation of the ash value, total ash, acid insoluble ash, water insoluble ash, sulfated ash and extractive values, fluorescence analysis and preliminary phytochemical screening. So this is the plant. We know, I think you know very well about this plant. It is a small prostate herb, branchlets with elongate spreading pillows, has leaves are ovate, oblong, pubescent, face obtuse, subcardate, margins entire, sometimes apex obtuse, mucronate, petiole stipules, racemes and axillary, pedicel, calyx, tube. So these are the external morphological characters of this plant. Now you come to the anatomy. So we made a sections of this plant with the rotary microtome. So the TS of leaf, you can see the first one, the TS of leaf. So the section is passed through the only the midrib region. So you can here you can see the lateral vein. So the vein, how the vein pattern are arranged in this plant. So here it is also the section is passed through the leaf margin. So why these characters are important for this purpose, this study? So we should know the anatomical characters are pertaining only to this plant. You can't see the you can see the variations among species to species level. That's why we performed this. Then this is also the paradermal sections of the leaf. Epidermis showing stomata. The stomata is being enlarged. So the leaf stomata is enlarged here. Then the vein islets and vein terminations are also enlarged. So the paradermal sections of the lamina also shows crystals along with the veins. So the presence of this calcium oxalate crystals is the only identifying feature of this plant. If you take section, then you can see the calcium oxalate crystals in the what you call the vein, but you cannot see the calcium oxalate crystals anywhere. You can't see the calcium oxalate crystals in the epidermis or palisade parenchyma or spongy parenchyma. You can't see anywhere. Well, this is also one of the identifying feature of this plant. So even though we are identifying species with so many parameters, but this is also supporting evidence for studying the pharmacognosy. Then this is the stem anatomy. The stem anatomy is also you can see the crystals. So this is the calcium oxalate crystals are seen. It is seen under the polarized light. So it seems to be very clear about it. Clear. Okay. Then the stem is roughly circular in outline and show that many bed-shaped vascular bundles. So there is a prominent subepidermal layer of circular dilated layer of hyalinian cells. So the hyalinian cells are also there. So then the cortical zone. You come to the cortical zone. The cortical zone is narrow and includes 3 to 4 or 3-4 layers of parenchymatous cells. So the cortical zone is immediately followed by a wide hollow vascular cylinder. So that has a different independent wedge-shaped vascular bundles. So the bundles are closely arranged in the sense the vascular bundles are closely arranged with narrow sclerenchymatous medullary rays. So the vascular bundles are collateral with outer thin caps of sclerenchyma. So this is one of the feature of this plant. Inside the sclerenchymatous cap, inside this sclerenchymatous cap, small groups of phloem elements. So the xylem strand includes 3 or more parallel rows of wide and thick-walled circular xylem elements. So the xylem elements are surrounded by the thick-walled fibers. So I showed only the limited number of photographs in this presentation. So the pith is wide. You can see the pith. The pith is wide. The pith is wide and enlarged. The cells are usually thin, large, angular, and compact. As already told, the crystal formation or crystal distribution. So the calcium oxalate crystals are distributed distributed in the sense they are fairly common in the midrib, leaf midrib and stem. So the crystals are of prismatic type. The crystals are of spindle shape. They, apart from this leaf midrib and stem, the crystals are also noticed in the surrounding cells of the bundle gaps in the stem. So sometimes the crystals are seen on the inner side of the cortical cells. Okay. So these are the photographs. Then now you come to you see the powder microscopy. Powder microscopy in the sense the leaf or the stem materials are shade dried and blended. Then we will stain it. So you can see the various cell types. For example, we can say the glandular and non-glandular epidermal trichomes are there. Then epidermal trichomes, they are capsule type. They are 60 nanometer, micrometer to 40 micrometer. Non-glandular trichomes are unicellular, unbranched. The tips is pointed and curved. So unique type of vessel elements are occur. So this is a unique type of vessel elements are occur in this powder. They are long, narrow, pencil-like. It look like pencil. Okay. So this is viewed under the polarized light. So this is the spiral thickening. You see inside this you can find the thickening of some elements. So they have minute dot-like multiciliate pits are there. Sometimes scalariform pits are also seen. Scalariform in the sense step by step. So the perforation at the end wall is simple, horizontal, narrow, and white fibers are also seen in the powder. But we cannot be able to see the parenchymatous cells because while processing sometimes it may be washed away. Now, so this is the thus the microscopical parameters support us for the proper identification and authentication of the drug. Now you come to the anatomy in a nutshell. We can say the anatomy of the leaf reveals that adaxial epidermis is of stomatiferous and contain prismatic type of calcium oxalate crystals. Stomata, parasitic trichomes, you can see both glandular and non-glandular. Okay, as already told, wedge-shaped vascular bundles are there. So this observation would be an immense value in the botanical identification and standardization of drug in the crude form. So this study is useful to distinguish the plant from its closely related species. Now we come to the, we also carried out the physicochemical parameters. Total ash value, it is for 14 water soluble ash value, sulfated ash value, and acid insoluble ash value, moisture content, loss on drying, extractive value, and etc. So it is now we come to the fluorescent analysis, fluorescent characteristics. So each and every, so suppose if you want to find any adulterant in the plant sample, so nowadays in market there are so many adulterants. Okay, how to find the adulterants in the sample? So this is the simplest method to identify. This is the simplest method to identify adulterants, if any, in the sample. Okay, suppose if it is if the powder, plant powder, the powder is mixed with benzene, it appears, it later we can see dark green. Suppose if it is in 240 nanometer, UV light treatment, green color. Powder plus ethyl acetate, you can see green color. The same color also appear in the after the treatment. So powder plus 50% aqueous ethanol, light green and green. So powder plus 1 normal, 1 molarity HCl, brown, green. So powder plus 1 normal analogue aqueous, brown in, okay. So, so these are the, now you can see the phytochemical characteristics of Alysicarpus monilifer. So these we qualitatively determined these compounds, whether our plant sample contain the alkaloids, carbohydrates, amino acid, phytosterol, glycosides, flavonoids, phenols, tannins, saponins, guanines, and coumarins. Okay, so ethanol extract showed the alkaloids, amino acids, phytosterols, glycosides, flavonoids, tannins, and saponins, quinones. Ethyl acetate extract showed phytosterol, flavonoids, saponins, and quinones. Then acetone also showed alkaloids, phytosterols, flavonoids, carbohydrates, saponins, and quinones. So all these three extracts showed phytosterols, flavonoids, saponins, and quinones. So from this observation, we had an idea. So suppose these metabolites are responsible for various therapeutic activities of the medicinal plants. Finally, conclusion. So the pharmacognostical characters and phytochemical values reported in this work could be used as a diagnostic tool for the standardization of the medicinal plant. Adulterants, if any, can be easily identified by adopting fluorescence analysis. So the microscopic characters could help in laying down micro-morphological standards for authentication of the drug. So pharmacognostic constants and the diagnostic microscopic features could be further useful to evaluate pharmacological and phytotherapeutic efficacy of this plant to claim as a potential herbal drug. Thank you for giving me an opportunity, sir.
We have time for 1 or 2 questions. Can I ask you, how did you identify the groups of the secondary metabolites, like the flavonoids and the quinones? Was that done by thin layer chromatography?
No. We scattered only the preliminary qualitative test. Qualitative. So in future we plan to carry out the estimation like TLC or HPLC or NMR. But I have, basically I'm a pure botanist. I have a little bit knowledge about the chemistry. Okay, but we want to include the chemical aspects in future, sir. So that will be very useful for the proper authentication of the drug.
Any other questions? One question there.
On looking at those microscopic slides of you, one can see various organelles in the plot. So it seemed to me a rather crude method that we conventionally use to mix up everything, and I assume each of those organelles has got unique molecules. Is it at all possible to do some sort of fractionation before, in other words, separate different organelles?
Yes. Professor said, how is it possible to isolate all these compounds like trichomes or vessel elements or fiber element or xylem, the xylem thickening, fiber thickening, and so on. It is very easy to study. You can collect the sample and you allow the sample to stay dry. After drying, you blend it, or you can make a powder with mixie. Then you can follow the standard procedure of Sauce et al. Or you can follow the method of Johansen et al. For double staining purpose. So we can, you have to search. In that group, we have to search. All the components are there, but we have to isolate. We have to locate the the xylem vessels. Then we will magnify it. Otherwise, it is a tedious process. We can say It is not a simple process to do. It is a time tedious process to study this work.
Let's thank the speaker again.
Thank you.